Hello, dear friends. Today we will take a look at the diary of a Red Army officer. Their diaries are very rare, which makes this one particularly valuable. The history of this diary is remarkable. It was captured by the Germans, translated, and studied. Later, after the capture of the German headquarters, it was translated and studied by Soviet intelligence officers. Don't forget to rate this work and leave your opinion in the comments. Well, let's begin. My actions during the war. Second Lieutenant Andrei Fedorovich Onoprienko, commander of the transport company and 3rd Platoon of the 2nd Company of the 333rd Separate Sapper Battalion of the 177th Rifle Division. June 30th, 1941. The train carrying our Separate Sapper Battalion departed from Borovichi Station at 0040. July 1st. We traveled all day, heading south the entire time. Along the way, we encountered wounded soldiers from the Baltic states and civilians who were being evacuated deeper into the country. All personnel are present, and there were no incidents along the way. Meanwhile, the weather suddenly turned beautiful. When the train stopped in the forest, the rain stopped, the birds began to sing, and the air was filled with ozone and was very clean. It is so peaceful here. Nothing reminds you of the war. But there. At 10 p.m., we disembarked at the Luga 2 station. We unloaded and reached the new camp on July 2nd at 7 a.m. July 2nd. I am with the column in the forests near Luga. Morale is good. The soldiers are rested. For now, they are resting and preparing the vehicles for the march. July 3rd. We are standing on the defensive line of the Northwestern Front. Today, the air raid siren sounded twice, but there was no bombing. The drivers are repairing the vehicles. The motorcyclists are tinkering with their motorcycles. As far as engines are concerned, I have nothing important to do. August 9th, 1941. All this time, I stayed with the entire column far behind the front lines, in the area of the village of Novia Krupeli. August 10th. I was ordered to report to headquarters. An order came to transfer command of the column to a senior lieutenant who had arrived from the academy. August 11th. I spent the whole day transferring the transport column. August 12th. I was waiting for a new assignment. August 15th. I was given command of the 3rd Platoon of the 2nd Company. At 7 o'clock in the evening, the Germans began shelling the area around the village of Tolmachevo with long-range artillery. I immediately found myself in my dugout, with heavy shells flying overhead. The sensations during such a party, when shells are whistling overhead, are not particularly pleasant. The company is preparing to return to the front. Today I had my baptism of fire. I also went to the bathhouse today. August 16th. The day passed quietly. I did not go to the front yesterday. Only at 4 o'clock in the evening did something fly through the air, either a shell or an airplane. I lay down all day and read military regulations. My mood is normal. August 17th. I received an assignment. At 11 o'clock I left for the city of L to prepare for the demolition of houses, factories, and barracks. I finished there by 9 o'clock in the evening. In areas close to the front line I came under artillery fire, but I was lucky to get out unscathed. The Germans have been shelling the city all day. I moved my headquarters to the printing house. It's an elegant basement. I spent the night at headquarters. August 18th. Everything is normal. Artillery fire, machine gun fire, etc. I am waiting for orders. In the military town area, our troops surrounded the Germans. This morning they closed in on them and fired until all the parasites were destroyed. The Germans retreated 2 kilometers. I was at my position. In the pharmacy, Sergeant Kirillov found some alcohol and got drunk. He was so drunk that he had to be put to bed. Kirillov gave some alcohol to driver Ivanov, who brought food, and he also got drunk. We had to put him to bed too. God knows what kind of nonsense this alcohol is. August 22nd. Last night, 3 of my positions were bombed. The pharmacy building was hit, a fire started and shells exploded from it. 3 bombs exploded at my command post, but there were no casualties. Today at 10 o'clock, 4 shells exploded on the roof, but there were no casualties. I sent 2 men to the battalion headquarters for drunkenness. Today I handed Ivanov over to them for unauthorized absence. I am going to move the command post and have sent my deputy on reconnaissance. August 23rd. At 9 o'clock in the evening, an order came to blow up the town of Luga and return to our unit. I carried out the explosions under enemy artillery fire. It was a terrible sight. Everything went smoothly. The retreat was also organized, although we were under fire the whole time. I tried all night to establish contact with my own people. August 24th. At 5 a.m., I arrived at my unit. I received sad news. Our corps was surrounded. Communication with Leningrad was cut off. The night passed quietly. August 25th. I dug in the battalion headquarters. My unit received an order to blow up the railway bridge across the Luga River. The enemy was shelling it. We brought the explosives in armored vehicles. The battalion commander was present and swore a lot. I took 15 boxes of explosives. The bridge was blown up, but we lost the commander of the Sotnikov detachment. It's a pity. He was a skilled guy. August 26th. Nothing significant happened. August 27th. Our company received an order to join the 483rd Regiment. At 8 p.m., we set out and marched 7 kilometers. Then the battalion commander caught up with us in a car and ordered us to turn around and join the 1st Battalion of the 502nd Sapper Regiment. We joined the battalion and marched all night. The march was difficult. August 28th. We spent the night in the area of the village of Lugi. At 10 a.m., we set out in the direction of the village of Chashcha. At 10 p.m., we reached the village and took up defensive positions. August 29th. At 8 a.m., we received an order to advance on the village of Novinka. At 11 a.m., we reached the village, but there were no Germans there. We took up defensive positions. Reconnaissance reported that the Germans had captured the Novinka station. They had been in the village of Novinka before us, ate all the chickens, drained all the honey from the hives, and left the villagers money. Russian money, issued by the provisional government. They told the population that September 10th would be a big holiday, that we would take St. Petersburg and end the war. I spent the night in German trenches. August 30th. The Germans' trenches are very convenient. Damn it, we have to give them credit. They dig better than we do. We had breakfast at 9 o'clock. At 10 o'clock, the Germans went on the attack. The battle was short. The attackers' fire was powerful and effective. The enemy had 6 tanks, 2 of which and 1 armored vehicle were destroyed by our artillery during the battle. We lost 2 anti-tank guns. Our troops found themselves in a difficult situation and, having suffered heavy losses, began to retreat from the battlefield. I led only half of my platoon out. My orderly was wounded. The enemy drove us out of the village of Chashchi, and we retreated into the swamp and began to regroup. The company commander and political officer were gone, and I was the only officer left, except for 1 platoon sergeant. 12 men in the supply train remained from the platoon. August 31st. We received orders to take up defensive positions in the area of the village of Chashcha. We marched through the night. While taking up our positions, I was given the task of laying mines. While carrying out this task, the political instructor, Sergeant Gibman, whom I mentioned earlier, was wounded. September 1st, 1941. I found the 1st Company of the battalion. I decided to work with the commander of the 1st Company to try to break through the encirclement and get the transport out. We got stuck in a swamp with thousands of people working on the road. A picture of the retreat of our troops. September 2nd. There is still no order to advance. September 8th. I have been through a lot in these 6 days. I have said goodbye to life many times. I have seen many horrors, and what I have seen and experienced during this time will never happen again in my life. Yes, moments of happiness, like great sorrow, are experienced once in a lifetime, or very rarely. 5 minutes ago, our forest was bombed. The picture is terrible, and enemy paratroopers have been dropped. I have changed my mind a lot during this time. Based on the circumstances and their accurate assessment, one inevitably comes to the conclusion that salvation is impossible without help. Those devils are flying here again. There is no salvation. All that remains is to wait. But for what? We only have food for 2 days. There are 3 possibilities left: death by starvation, death at the hands of the Germans, or capture due to sudden encirclement. The last option is out of the question. I will not surrender. Damn it! Did my mother give birth to me so that I could die at the hands of those damned bastards, those hateful German cannibals? I am ready for anything. A soldier does what he is told, and I am a soldier. I only feel sorry for my son. Who will raise him without a father? At the same time, there is hope in my heart that he will avenge my death. Grow up, Topochka. Be a man, and don't forget that you have a father, or had one. And if I die, avenge me and everyone else. These will be my last words. If I survive, I will write more. If I die and someone finds these lines, please send them to the following address if possible. Ukraine, Kharkiv region, city of Izium, Pechansk Post Office, Glukhoy Lane, number 3, to Maria Alexeyevna Onoprienko. September 24th. I am putting the date arbitrarily, as I have lost my bearings. I am currently in the village of Krivino. Only 16 people remain from our battalion, including Senior Lieutenant Sidorenko and Junior Lieutenants Antipov and Rybchenko. The rest are either dead or wandering somewhere, just like us. Until today, we were wandering with the goal of breaking through, but now we have gone so far that there is no goal left. So I am sitting on the outskirts under a tree, right on the ground. I am damp, hungry as a dog, dirty and unkempt as never before. We feed ourselves with whatever we can beg for and dig up collective farm potatoes, since there are essentially no collective farms left. Such is my life, and I have decided to continue keeping a diary. No longer as Second Lieutenant Onoprienko, but simply as a living being. Why? Because there is no goal. None whatsoever. It just exists. But it will leave a notebook behind. I will tell you what I am going through in my nomadic life. What lies ahead? Uncertainty. And behind me are horrors that make my hair stand on end when I remember them. I just sent Kovalev and Batiev to find a place to cook potatoes. An hour has passed, but neither of them has returned. I often think about my family and my distant homeland, Ukraine. Just thinking about you, my loved ones, makes my heart cry. Batiev has returned. We slept, prepared lunch in a Russian bathhouse. By Ukrainian standards, it's a pigsty. In the evening, I went around the village and begged for milk. A damn woman gave me half milk and half water, and I suffered from stomach pain all night. September 25th. I slept very poorly with constant stomach pains. At 8 o'clock, we cooked breakfast in the bathhouse. Potatoes with peas. We have no bread. No one gives us any. After breakfast, I will go with the young men to the assembly point, i.e., to yesterday's location. At 10 o'clock, we will set off. The diary is interrupted. It is not known whether the author of the diary was captured by the Germans or killed in battle. All the soldiers and officers mentioned in this diary are listed as missing in action in the Red Army. That is, their fate is still unknown. That's all for today. If you like the video, please support it with a like and subscribe to the channel. See you all soon.